to another 31 Days of Horror 2020 video. James did not choose this because Lesley wanted a ghost story, and seeing as how this video, she's chosen to be picked multiple times, I said, hey, why don't we watch this movie? So we did. She regrets every second of it. We are talking about you can't even see that. Apparition. This film's from, I believe, 2015. Just over an hour and a half long. We're doing a lot of hour and a half long movies this year.
That's okay.
That's okay. And essentially, well, what is this film about? Its main character is a guy named Doug, and we'll say he kills his fiancée in a car crash, because based off of what I saw in the film, it seems to be his fault. Like
really his fault.
Like, they don't really show it, so we can't be too judgy, but from what they show in the movie, it's like, yeah, probably his fault. And they were just newly engaged. It was
like at their engagement
party. It was just
party.
after their engagement party, going home to their, new fixer-upper in the countryside. And so he is now living in said fixer-upper, and of course, it's haunted. They're all haunted. Everything's haunted. So yeah, he finds out that there's stories about previous owner who killed their servants, and then he starts seeing, of course, his dead fiancée, and it just spirals from there. The film is directed by Quinn Saunders, who is probably not known by anybody who would be watching this video, because he's mostly known for directing reality television. A very, very popular set of reality television.
Seriously. Oh my
324 episodes of Big Brother.
Wow. First of all, I don't watch that show. I've maybe seen one episode.
Wow.
But, wow. He got a good gig there.
Yeah. So that may be why he doesn't have a lot of movies under his belt.
Yeah, he's busy.
He's busy doing reality TV. So, the film's written by Pete Cafaro. Never written anything else. I don't even know if that's a real name, to tell you the truth.
I wouldn't put my name on it.
In terms of acting, there's really only 3 people in this film that of any real note. First is Doug, played by Jody Quigley, who I couldn't see much of anything, and he hasn't been in a lot. Either before, bunch of low-budget, no-name things, but then after this he was in a film called Imperatus, which looks like a horror film, but I've never heard of it. His fiancée is the only one who's managed to do anything. In fact, she's really kind of done something really, really, really well. Before this, she wasn't in a lot. One-off, some television shows, a bunch of low-budget, movies. And then I don't know if it was... No, I guess it would have been before this. She was in Spartacus Blood and Sand. If you've seen that show, great little show where she played Mira for a good portion, not a good portion of the show, but a good portion of a season. Then she eventually went on to do this film. And somehow that brought her around to ending up in more television. She's now been in 22 episodes of Hawaii Five-0 as Quinn Liu, and 20 episodes of Arrow as Nisa Al Ghul, which is a very important character in the universe. So, she's gone somewhere. But the other person is a woman who lives in the area of this new old fixer-upper house who, you know, kind of tries to make a move on this newly, not widowed, but widowed man. And that is played by Lily Bourdain, who, oddly enough, judging by her name, she's not from the U.S. But she has been in both U.S. films and a bunch of films and such from another country. I don't know where they're from, but she was Dora in 8mm 2. And then she's done a whole bunch of films and television shows and such, but never really playing anything. Like, it's always like bartender or yes, stupid things. She was in one episode of The River. She was Dr. Becca Kelly in the Battlestar Galactica Blood and Chrome movie. Then she was wife in Extinction. She was reporter 3 in The Martian. Like, she hasn't really gone to prop herself up like some of the others. She was waitress Marta in The Nun.
There was a waitress?
Right? Like, so she's been in some good stuff, just what?
She was also...
Oh, yes, she was in one episode of Hawaii Five-0.
Huh? Wonder if her friend got her that.
So, yeah. Seems only one person who's come out of this film really having done anything, and the other one probably was already doing something before they actually got into this film. So, yeah, that being said, there might be a reason. They probably try and scrub this from their resume. And you just can't anymore. And why is that, Lesley? Why
because
is
it's
that?
horrible. It's so bad. Oy. It's so bad. Oh my god. Like, I'm watching this and I even said to you, I'm like, did you just get this from the dollar store? Like, you know, and no, he didn't. No. He paid actual money. Well, we pay actual money at the dollar store, but you know what I mean. More money.
Not much more.
It was probably like $10.
No, it was definitely not $10.
$8.
No, it's probably like $5.
Not worth it.
Yeah, so it's one of those films that's, you know, are there ghosts? Is he insane? What is going on?
No. It's not one of those. It's not. Because then it would actually be watchable.
But that's what was going on through the entire film.
No, there was no weird things going on.
Maybe you should have watched the movie more.
It's not like a regular good ghosty story. It's not.
Well, it's not like a scary haunting story.
That's what I mean.
Right? It's not like... I mean, there are a couple of moments where it's kind of like that at the beginning. You know, it's kind of around the beginning. But most of it is, you know, the apparition being his dead fiance.
You're allowed to say that?
Sure. We've already established his dead fiance is haunting him.
No, we just said she was dead.
I said it right at the beginning.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
So yeah, it's a lot of the, you know, is he going insane, living in this house by himself? Or is he actually seeing ghosts and, you know, his dead fiance is coming around and haunting him? But it's more like jealous ghost rather than, you know, murderous intent ghost.
I was okay with that.
Right? This plays almost more like a drama than it does like a horror movie. It's more like this love triangle type movie where you have two women and the one guy and they're sort of fighting over him type thing. That's kind of more along the lines what the story is, except one of them's dead.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what it is. And I can't really go into it much more without giving away what's going on in the film.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
But yeah, it's this love triangle drama thing that's playing out. It's just, you know, one of them happened to have died at the beginning of the film. So yeah, it's like I said, it's less scary, though there are moments of, you know, tension and such, but there is a lot of, you know, it's a lot of, at the beginning, a lot of dialogue and talking and, you know, developing these characters and relationship, and then eventually it becomes a lot of, like I said, the whole idea of, is he crazy or is he seeing ghosts? And it's this repetitive motif throughout a good portion of the film where, you know, he doesn't know if he's going crazy or if he's seeing ghosts, and he's questioning himself, and the viewer doesn't know as a result, and all that kind of stuff.
No, we know.
And then eventually you get to the big climax, and all sorts of things are happening, and you have to watch the movie to find out what that is if you really want to. Because honestly, it's a little boring.
It's a lot boring.
When I say it plays more on the drama and the relationship stuff, it plays pretty heavily on the drama and the relationship stuff.
But a bad drama.
Yeah,
like,
there's
the worst TV movie of the week drama you could ever imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's... And I get it. I mean, like we're talking about a movie that was directed by a guy who's known for directing Big Brother. And if you know anything about Big Brother, it's all about the drama. It's, right? Like, it's all about playing up that...
But I have seen 1 or 2 episodes of that over the time it's been on. And although I don't like that show, it's not my thing, I'm not into that, it's like 10 million times better than this freaking movie.
Yeah, it's, I don't know.
Like, I feel like, you know, it would have been fun if they had like a little booth thingy on the side where the actors could just go over and be like, oh shit, I really hate this. Why did they make me do this? Like, that would have been good.
Confession booth, right?
Yeah. Then it would have made it interesting.
See, and that's funny, right? Like, Big Brother is, you know, yes, it is the drama. It's the, you know, cat fights and all that, you know, like all that kind of stuff, right? But at the same time, it's played for entertainment. It's played, like, there's funny, there's energy to it, right?
This
is
like
very
flat.
Yeah, it's very, it's
there's no reviving it.
it's so flat, and there's no humor to it whatsoever. There's no real action to it whatsoever. It's very much monotonous in terms of how the tone of the film, right from the get-go. Mm-hmm. Everything about it. I mean, the look in terms of cinematography is all very, it's kind of a muted, toned down. There's no vibrance to it, you know, like, it's very subdued. Lighting is subdued. When they're outside, it's subdued. There's no real, like, bright sunny days where they're out and, you know, you're getting, no, it's a lot of overcast days. If it is sunny, they're under a tree, so it's shady. You know, like, you never really get that. The talking, everybody's just kind of, they're pale blank face, and then la la. it's not that they come across as being, you know, like they're acting or that it's bad acting or anything. It's just, it's that whole, not very much of a personality, really. You know, like,
bland. It's very
there's
bland.
there's only like two people in the whole film that have a personality, and they're in there for like one scene, and you know they're happy about it and all that kind of. No, everybody else seems to be kind of almost like they've got a case of depression. Like everybody has this depression going on. They're just not happy people. There's no happy people in this thing.
No, it's like it doesn't have to have like funny moments or stuff like that, but it needs to have something, you know, like give me suspense or
Yeah,
I'm terrified at some point or whatever, but there's like nothing.
there's nothing. There's no ebb and flow to the film. There's no up and down. There's no give and take. There's no push and pull, right? It's just sort of and that was it.
I don't know. I don't even agree with that. I don't care. It was just
You said at the end, you were like, oh, that was the best. I like that scene. That was the best scene. Of the...
I said that was the best scene of the whole movie. I didn't say it was like
Well,
good.
then it went, eh.
No, it was like a lawnmower dying. Okay, that's what the movie is.
So it's just, and then it got to that one scene, you're like, eh.
It was like it was literally like, okay, you're
The motor sputtered.
yes. You're mowing the lawn. It's going along steady, and then it was like, you know, got a little surge. That was it.
Hit some long grass, and just
Yes, when it has to work harder, and then that's it. Yeah. That's my analogy.
Oh yeah, so I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. There are obvious problems with the film outside of that. I mean, just in terms of what's going on, because this guy, it's a fixer-upper, right? And I get it. It's an old farmhouse. He's essentially bought an old farm. Because he's got a barn, too. So, he bought a lot of land. And he's essentially trying to do this house by himself.
By painting.
And the only things we really see him do are scrape some paint and paint. Mm-hmm. Which, if this is a fixer-upper...
That paint better be strong.
that's good. That's some good paint. That's you know, like I don't know if you've ever watched one of those shows on television where you actually have to do some work and you know fixer-upper and they have to like tear down walls and rip stuff out. He didn't do anything like that. Like,
well, you know, mind you, he was probably too busy with the whole apparition thing.
Well, yes, I mean he does have this love triangle to juggle that, but
sure that takes up a lot of time, you know.
But yeah, it's just one of these things where it's like, okay, I get it, it's a fixer upper, but you can't just paint the trim, right? Like. I'm just looking at the outside of the house and the paint's just coming off. I'm sure the veranda's going to fall off any minute and he's inside painting. And it's like, no, that's what you do when you go into a house that you like that is perfectly, you know, well made and you don't like the color. That's not a fixer-upper, man. Where's the bin outside where you're throwing things into it because you got to rip it out? Yeah, but that's beside the point. It's a very dull, boring film, and And it's not that the story itself is necessarily bad. I get what they're trying to go for. I get it. I think I saw...
kind of been done before.
It has been done. It's been done. And honestly, a lot of times it's not done very well. I will say this kind of almost did it better than some of the ones I've seen. A lot of the times when they try and do something along this lines, it's very confusing. It's very... You really can't piece it all together properly. They have a lot of scenes that just don't make any sense, that don't fit into the puzzle. This one at least kind of stays in one type of area. It's all mostly in the house, and that's just stuff happens. But I did see apparently one of the alternate titles to this film is Remorse. So, and I get it. I get that title. Maybe I don't know. Is it...
Well, you didn't read the back.
No,
right?
I did not.
And I did. So I should have known better.
All right, it says Apparition.
We'll
I get it. And it says Regret will haunt you.
Yes.
I get that. Totally makes sense in terms of this film. Remorse almost seems like a better title to the film, but I guess Apparition and a ghost story sells better than Remorse. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I've seen this type of story done before, and it doesn't seem like a very difficult story to, like, on paper, but for some reason, a lot of times either the filmmakers are just trying to make it like too complex, or maybe some of the stuff, they shot a whole bunch of stuff and then it got lost in the editing room. I don't know, but a lot of times, because you're dealing with, are they crazy? Is it ghosts? That kind of whole idea. Yeah, a lot of times it just doesn't play very well. And they often, at the end of the film, they want to keep it ambiguous, right? The viewer has to determine it themselves, right? When you do that, it better be a really good movie, because otherwise it's just like, you didn't have a clue either. Like, it's the filmmaker. All it says to me is, you didn't know what you were making, and you're leaving us to figure it out. But this film, the
story is good, and I feel like if you got the right people to do it and change the script a whole lot, like just the overall story, right, it could be really, really good movie, and they could do things to make it, like, have scary moments and stuff.
Yeah,
like that,
I
right?
think they needed a better director, essentially, is what they needed.
They needed a better everything.
Because, yeah, they should have played up the horror elements, instead of trying to play up the drama elements.
Because if you're looking at that cover and you read the back, you're not looking for a drama.
Well, no. And again, that's marketing. It's even the people who made the film had nothing to do with that, right? So, like I said, it might have been called Remorse before Revolver ever got a hold of it, and then turned it to Apparition and wrote up this thing on the back to sell their DVD, right? But yeah, I mean, it can be said about almost any film, right? It's got the bones to be something good. It just, it's still just bones. It's rotting corpse at best.
Ooh, I like that. That's what this is.
It's not a full-fledged mummy or a full-fledged anything, person. It's, still there, decaying. Not really accomplishing what it needs to very well.
That's gonna be my new thing now.
That's your new thing? Your new rating scale? It's got the bones, it's got some flesh, but its left arm is kind of droopy. And I just used my right arm to do that, so whoa, how crazy is that? But yeah, so you gotta give it a rating.
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
What?
Absolutely freaking nothing.
Wow. Alright. I'm giving it a 2.
What the?
Like I said, I mean, it's...
Oh my god, you just said it's rotting corpse. Well, you said that and I said this isn't. But whatever.
Technically, it's like the film is well made compared to some. But it's, like I said, it's just boring. It's...
A 2. A 2. Oh my god.
1.5? Was that make you better? No?
No.
Like, picture this, and nobody can act.
He was a horrible actor. He was horrible. I didn't like. No.
She really needs to see some... I gotta throw some really bad movies.
No,
at
you don't. Because
if you're
that's all you give me.
This is
bad
a
movies.
0. No, this is not a good movie. I can throw a bad movie at you.
Oh my god, I can't deal with this. Do you see what you puts me through?
I don't know these are gonna be bad movies until we watch them.
You could give me a pile of like big name brand box office stuff, and then it's like, yeah, I could pick from this.
We've already seen them.
No.
The ones we haven't seen, I don't own yet. Gave you Happy Death Day.
Which I wanted to see years ago. Oi.
Anyways.
Where'd you see number 2?
See, I don't own number 2. I don't
Of course
think.
not.
Probably don't.
Go buy it.
Technically, we should watch it in this 31 days.
I think it's the law.
I don't know. Well, maybe I do own. Did I buy that?
I don't know.
I can't remember. Somebody who's watched my pickup videos, tell me if I bought it.
And somebody, please send some good movies. That would be good. You know. Help me out.
Problem is I know a lot of you would be sending us Vinegar Syndrome movies, and she'd be like, no!
My face just dropped when you said that.
Yeah. Oh, hon.
I don't need to. I don't need that. No.
I'll try and dig through the piles and see what I can find. But anyways, there you go. We're not giving this a recommend. We're not giving it a very good rating. It is a beware, buyer beware.
Don't buy it in the first place. Why are you buying it? You mean watch beware, watcher beware, whatever. Just don't watch it. There you go.
Yeah, maybe we saved you, maybe we didn't. Maybe you're like me and you'd watch it anyways. I don't know.
But you wouldn't watch it again. Oh my god.
I might.
Boy.
Anyways, comment down below if you've seen the film. Keep it as spoiler-free as possible. Spoil it. There you go. Leslie's giving you permission.
Not my channel, can't really, but wink, wink.
Take care. Have a good one.
I really hated that movie.
You gave it a 0, man. Like,
Yeah. No holds barred anymore. That's it. I don't like something that gets 0.